if you actually lost the space, so if Coles came to me and said, this product has been deleted, for me to get it back in, it could take years.
Yeah.
And how much money?
Oh, you wouldn't, I mean, to get a product in and you were going to pay to have it put in, if that worked still, which a lot of, I mean, now certainly with the ethical side of ranging, it's based around the product's performance and market acceptance. But we'd say, well, look, you need to back it with a catalogue, so there's $50,000 for a catalogue ad. They'd want promotions, which is a 12.5% case deal. So you're just shelling out money left, right and centre to make sure it stays there. You've got to be selling, say, 5 units per store per week for us to even look at it. And that's where it's important that we have the right products on the shelf so that they do get taken off. This product here, or the bush tomato one, was doing as an average probably around 3s. Now 3 units per store per week is still a good number, but we've also been allocating it to the stores as well. So if they've been ordering 100, we've gone, well, we don't have enough stock for that, we'll send you 40. And that's what we've been doing every single time, and we've been doing that.
Selling rates? Have you yourself looked at that?
To be honest, we don't buy the data for. If I wanted to buy data to review each one of the stores, it would probably cost me about $100,000 a year. And because, well, this is the problem. Sauce, this is chutney and relish, so that's okay. This is a separate category. Then we've got obviously the grinders and the shakers, so they're in another category. So if you want to buy all the data, it could cost you $250,000 a year.
If you're a supplier to Tesco, you get that free, and it's your computer. They do it on an IP basis, so your IP basis of your computer has access to their database.
Exactly right, and that's what it should be.
My computer has access to Tesco Link, and I'm not even, because I work with a supplier.
Okay. Yep.
But that's ridiculous because you know, I would guarantee that this stuff will be doing better in Queensland because it's nearer to Alice Springs
It does.
than here.
Yeah,
Guarantees.
but see what they do. Unfortunately they look at it as that's it, and it's an average across all the stores that it's in.
Wouldn't it be more to your advantage to be pushing them to do more of that geographic stuff?
Yeah, but then you lose your 1s and 2s. And then if you lose your 1s and 2s, then they might say, well, look, we'll actually delete it out of Victoria. It can only go into New South Wales or Queensland.
Where are their distribution centres? They have to have distribution.
They've got them in every state, but they have state-specific ranging as well. Yeah, so therefore, when I target any of my new SKUs, it's around national ranging. I want it in every store. And then they say, well, it's not graded for all stores. It's only graded for 2 bays and above, which then might be, instead of 770 stores, it might only be available to be ranged in 500. And then out of that 500, 300 could choose to, instead of having 2 facings, they could have 1 facing. So it's really, you know, there's probably 3 or 4 sides to it, and that is, I present it to the buyer to get him to accept it. Once it gets accepted, then I run promotions on it to get it onto the shelf. I then run more promotions to get it taken from the shelf. Then I back it with demos. Also, what we'll probably do is like in-store advertising activity as well. And then while all this is happening, for my support, I have all my sales guys, so my field merchandisers, that go and visit the store to check to make sure it's there, make sure the price is right, make sure the stock's rotated, so that it can be sold. With the ACCC, we're not allowed set price. However, you can put a recommended retail price through, and that's what we talk, recommended retail. I mean, say for example, this chutney, and I'll use a holiday area, say Anglesey or somewhere like that. In Coles, it would be $3.99, but in the independent, who buys it through a distributor, it could be on shelf at $4.59. So we just give them a guide, and what I do is actually target it around making sure that the price points are what the market's looking for as well. And that's where I go back to Julie and say, well, look, Julie, you're going to have to do something to reduce the cost of this, because I can't hit the price because they want a certain margin. And then you end up going around in circles again. What we're actually also trying to do, and it's also about basically getting more sales, and that is to make them more mainstream. So that we find that if you come up with a product that's really unique and has unique flavour variants, you actually sort of limit your market. And that's why we're sort of trialling as part of the fact that we don't have enough bush tomato, and that is to try a source that has the same brand, hits the same SKUs, provides the same level of support, but meets more consumer demand. And that's probably one of the most important things as well, is to cover more people's taste buds. And that's what we're trying to do here with these new ones. It's got bush food in it, but it's not. It's what we're trying to do here is probably market it towards a different style consumer that's prepared to sort of to trade up, but may not want to move to something that's really unique.
So more people will be prepared to try bush food. Okay, so more people to eat bush tucker. It's got bush tucker in it, but it's less obvious than say the Kudgera one. Although the Kudgera, people love the flavour of Kudgera. I mean, if we could get bush tomatoes, we could sell pallets and pallets of chutney. We make this product and then we sell that to Coles, and people can go to Coles and they pay $3.99 for that chutney. Out of that, Coles take this much money, if you know what I mean. And then we have the cost of getting it into the store, distribution, getting it on a truck, getting it into the store, paying Coles to put it in the warehouse. And then we also have to pay to sell the product. So we have to have the money out of this jar to pay for the promotions, like when it goes on special. Instead of $3.99, you can buy it for $2.99. So that money comes out of our pockets. We can't get that money. We have to give that to Coles. And then we have to pay out of this bit, if you can look at it like that, we have to pay for the people in the kitchen to work, to cook the product, stir the vats, put it in the bottle, pay for the label, pay for the jar. So at the end, there might only be this much money at the bottom, which is hopefully profit for the company to be able to continue. And then out of that, I spend a lot of it coming up to Alice Springs.
I'm glad you put that on the end of it.